Behind the scenes intro. Oh, I haven't written one.
Oh, no, just like a
All right.
sound check, sorry.
Sound check. All right.
Oh, 1 sec. 3, 2. Hold on 1 sec. 3, 2, 1.
We're here at Lambert Park, back again, 2025. Place in the Australia Cup is on the line, as it was in 2024, between the Marconi Stallions and APIA Leichhardt. Should be a great one, a big Italian derby coming up. History repeats itself tonight at Lambert Park. APIA and Marconi face off again in the final preliminary round of the Australia Cup with a spot at the national stage on the line. Two clubs steeped in history, both foundation Australian Championship clubs and both putting together successful league seasons. No doubt a bit of a cup run would be on their minds to add to all of that. It promises to be a fantastic Derby d'Italia Australia Cup edition, and it's coming up right here on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Will Constantinidis here in Leichhardt at the historical Lambert Park, which has played host to so many big games between these two clubs, and this one promises to be as big as any in recent memory. And these two clubs have met recently, a month ago in the league, and on that day it was Marconi running out victors 2-0, and that'll no doubt be top of mind for APIA, even though they got the better of them when they met in the Cup last year. Without any further delay, let's get straight into the team news, starting first with Franco Parisi's APIA. It's been all guns blazing in attack for them this season, but in recent weeks, it's been all about their defence, adding a bit of solidity to this firing attack, and they'll be hoping they've got the right mix tonight to defeat the side that got the better of them recently. They're looking for their third straight trip to the national stage. Round of 32 exit last year against Olympic FC. Of course, if any side knows how to go on a deep cup run, it no doubt is APIA Leichhardt. A 2-0 win at Wynn Stadium against Wollongong, and Franco Parisi has rung in the changes. Starting first in goal, Bazanis comes in place of Kalatz. Around the back is Michael Kuda, as well as Drayden Kelly, who continues some good starts. Sean Simmons is there at left back. Joel Bertolicio continues in midfield. Alongside Caspers, Fong also returns to the back line. Saya Kambiashi, the man to watch in that number 2 jersey, out on the wing tonight. Jordan Segredo is in the number 17 shirt, as is Jack Stewart in number 7. And rounding out, showing some good performances recently, is the young midfielder, number 99, Franco Farinella. As for the Marconi Stallions, well, they are the clear front runners in the league this season. Just the one loss through 16 games has them in a commanding position at the top of the table. Wouldn't the defending champions love an Australia Cup run to go with that, as APIA get us underway? It's been some time since Marconi have been in the national stage, 6 years since their last trip to the round of 32, and they were knocked out by APIA at this point last year, hoping that they can get a bit of revenge against their Derby d'Italia counterparts, as Segredo replacing Presley Ortiz at the top of the attack tonight, looking to add a bit of something extra up top. And let's go through the Marconi starting 11. Just the one change compared to the plethora that were made by Franco Parisi. Peter Sakanis brings in Franco Meyer for his first start in a little while now. He's been making his way off the bench recently, coming back from injury. He replaces Matej Busek. Here is Saya Kambiashi looking to go right at Tyron Burney. He's joined by a couple of defenders and now eventually seen away by Burney. Yuli was over there to help. So as for the rest of the starting 11 for Marconi, it's number 1, James Hilton, number 2, Tyron Burney, number 5, Lockie Griffiths, number 6, Dom Costanzo. Marconi struggle to clear their lines. We'll come back to that in a moment. But Alicia winds up from range, unable to keep his shot on target. Number 6, Dom Costanzo. Number 8 is James Bayliss. 10, the captain, Marco Jesic. 16 is Liam Yuli. 17, Damien Sakanis. 18 is George Daniel. 23 is Brendan Vella. And number 7, just on the wing in front of us, Franco Meyer. Of course, APIA have really readjusted things for their game tonight. Joel Bertolicio dropping into midfield. Back four tonight with Michael Kuda at centre-back alongside Drayden Kelly. Of course, no Temba Mwatamalo for the rest of the season. He scored in this fixture last year. Ball is over the top behind the APIA defence. Sakanis is a bit behind that one. That'll be swept up and away by Bazanis. Bayliss heads it down only to the benefit of Fong. Kelly has to track back and clears that away from immediate danger from Jesic. And now Stewart is looking for the early release pass over the top for Segredo. Griffiths is there tracking him and has good feet to take it away from Segredo, but they haven't quite cleared things just yet. Eventually Vella does so. Fast start to proceedings here at Lambert Park as Farinella can't quite latch onto that pass, and there is Franco Meyer doing his defensive duties. These are two sides that love to play very quickly. APIA, up until recently, were the highest goal scoring side in the competition. Rockdale have since overtaken that title. But still, a rapid 41 goals through 16 games. That's more than 3 goals per game for quick mathematicians at home. Oh, Jesic has pinched that off Bizanis here, and he might think about shooting. Instead, he leaves it behind. Bayless scoring it up for Costanzo. Just left it behind at the vital moment. Still here for the visitors. Costanzo looks to go at Fong. Cameron Fong went on a cup run himself with a different club last year. He was part of Morton Excelsior. Franco Meyer into the feet of Griffiths. A few challenges flying in, and it's whistled against Meyer. Caspers wants to go quickly and does. Eddie Caspers. It's an interesting, as mentioned, APIA lineup. You usually see Seiya Kambiashi playing as the 10 tonight. That man is the young Franco Farinella. Behind him, it's Bertolicio, usually a defender, and Caspers, who's anchored this midfield well. No Eugenio in the starting lineup tonight. Segredo released him behind. The flag has stayed down here for Jordan Segredo. He's going to wait for a bit of support. Dropping it short, intended for Stewart, but there is Liam Yulee. Neither side really able to get their foot on the ball in these opening exchanges. It's all been back and forth stuff. Sean Simmons launches it down the line. The flag will go up here against Seiya Kambiashi. And now APIA will have to reset defensively. Meanwhile, Hilton leads the league in clean sheets. No surprise with how well Marconi have been defending this year. There is Damien Sekenis. Costanzo looked so good a couple of weeks ago in their win against Sutherland. Got on the score sheet. A rare goal for him this season. He hasn't quite been finding the back of the net as regularly as he did last year, but he's still a constant threat. He's now I'll look to lump numbers forward here. Daniel asking a bit there of Bayless. Bounced rather fortuitously from an APIA perspective. Jesic. Off back by Costanzo. There is Farinella trying to break up play. Segredo is asked to do some hold up, but it's taken off his toes by Vela, and now APIA look to go forward quickly. Intended for Kambiashi, but Rocky Griffiths is far too good in the air. The intent from APIA is very clear. Go forward quickly and try and catch this Marconi defence before they're set. So far, Marconi have met the task at every occasion. Kelly. Good defensive work there, Drayden Kelly. It's been a welcome addition to this APIA back line. Their depth has been tested recently as well. Kuda cheaply given away for Franco Mayo. Bizanis had to get quickly back onto his line. Here is Tyrone Burney. And Yulee. Mayo. One-touch football from the Stallions, and they find their way out. Vela. Of course, no Cam Windust, no Anton Milinaric. Still for the Stallions. Milinaric out with a long-term injury has brought Vela and Griffiths in as the new centre-back pairing. Early release pass. Segredo will test the pace of Griffiths. Segredo stops him from playing back through his keeper, and they might have forced him into a corner here, but they find their way. Burney. Chips it down the line. Jesic has Michael Kuda all on his back, and Seiya Kambiashi got the final touch.
Go, go!
George Daniel. Costanzo made his move down the wing and a bit of a body feint to create some space. As the Stallions enter the final third. Smartly left behind for George Daniel. Early ball into the area, up for David Sekenis. Was inches away from connecting with that one, and brief moment on the chance there for Stallions, and it's all started with some good work down the wing by Dom Costanzo, no surprise. Cambiashi, now it's the Stallions' turn to find their way through trouble. Simmons tried to play it off his defender, felt that he was fouled, and a foul is forthcoming. More to play for between these two teams. You might have seen on your socials recently that it's posted by APIA Leichhardt. The record between these two teams is pretty crazy statistic coming into this game. They've played 88 times and they've each won 35 of those matches. So that's 35 wins to APIA, 35 wins to Marconi, 18 draws. And we will have a winner tonight no matter what. If it goes to penalties, someone will go through to the round of 32. Easy work for Sean Simmons. One of a rare few players in this APIA side that were there a few years ago when they first beat the Melbourne Victory. They were reigning A-League champions back in 2018, the Victory. They went to Lambert Park and APIA knocked them off. A famous day in APIA's history. Franco Parisi was still playing back then. Two famous goals from Tasuku Sakia and Nathan Milgate, a former Marconi man, retired with Marconi last season when they won the championship. Well, one in the air by Simmons, and it's brought down well by Segredo. APIA could think about building an attack, and Jack Stewart has gotten in behind the defence here. APIA with a good opportunity for Stewart. Couldn't quite wrap his foot around the ball, but it's all down to some tidy hold-up play by Segredo. Not really known for that is Segredo. He's more of a creative goal-scoring force on the wing. Being asked to play this number 9 role in the absence of Presley Ortiz. Definitely a big hole to fill with how many goals he's been scoring this season. Sakanis is going to get on the end of this here. A good ball over the top. Damien Sakanis on the volley. Flashes wide of the goal. Could have not gotten any closer than that. Damien Sakanis, who is in good goal-scoring touch himself. Scoring on the weekend against Blacktown City. Very, very close indeed, Damien Sakanis. Flash moment there. Both teams having big chances. You can see that they're sides that want to attack. Kaspers has found a bit of room to work with. There's options left and right. He goes left. Saya Cambiashi looking for that favoured right foot. Cutting inside on the edge of the area. Couldn't quite find the shooting angle. It was well shut down by James Bayless in the Marconi defence. So APIA have to reset. Franco Meyer, some good skills inside his own area to keep possession. And now the Stallions can benefit from that. Yesic. Early pass down the line, but Michael Kuda is there. He's feeling that he was shoved a bit there by Damien Sakanis. No foul was forthcoming. Of course, it is a derby d'Italia. There's plenty of feeling whenever these two sides play each other. As George Daniel gets forward before his run is halted by Drayden Kelly. Yuli. Daniel will have another go. There is Kelly right on his back again. Trying to work it down that left-hand side, but it's dealt with by APIA. A question of a foul down there in the corner. Both players wanted something. In the end, it's APIA that will come away with the goal kick. The sides have taken somewhat different paths to this point. We'll get to that in a moment. Meanwhile, the Stallions are going to get forward as we'll return to how these sides got here. For APIA, it's been very comfortable victories to say the least. It all started with a 10-0 win against Nepean, then 3-0 down at Wollongong United for a 4-1 win, which could have been a very tricky game. Spirit had beaten them earlier in the season, 3-0 at Lambert Park, but APIA dismantled them 4-1. As Franco Meyer stands over this one. Stallions have looked good from set pieces in recent weeks. This time he goes deeper to the far post, and it's slightly overhit past Sekenis, and that'll be an APIA goal kick. When you compare that, the run that APIA have had, to how the Stallions have gone, it's been very different. Started with a 2-1 win against a difficult opponent in Bankstown FC. Jake True with a couple of goals there, but that's a Bankstown City side that have a lot of known talent. And an easier 4-1 victory against Prospect United before a tricky away tie, coming away 2-1 winners against Bulli FC in their last round. So even though they are an association side, Bulli, they tested the Stallions all the way. And now there's questions back and forth over on the bench. It's going to stay with APIA, or Marconi rather. Sides trying to win possession in midfield. Neither has really claimed ascendancy with the ball at the moment. Say Kambiashi is underneath this one. He was always going to be second best against Griffiths with that height disadvantage. Poked forward by Yuli. Kuda heads it back into the mix, and Damien Sekenis went in a little late there. He did have eyes for the ball, Sekenis, but I think that outstretched arm gave him away a little bit there. More than a foul. Michael Kuda just in front of us here in our position on the grandstand backing onto Marion Street. It's a lovely night for football here in Sydney's inner west. Bertolicio. Kuda. Kambiashi checks in short, pass was misplaced. Kuda will get a second go at it. This time he goes the more direct route. Jordan Segredo just coming back from an offside position there, an easy call for the official on the far side. Bernie rides the challenge of his opposite number and has won his side to throw it in a good position here. It's still Damien Sekenis' chance a moment ago that is the best of the game for the Stallions. Stewart had a good look as well for APIA Leichhardt. That's a chance apiece really, but nothing that you can say that either should have buried. It was a tight angle for Sekenis' one, even if it was a one-on-one. He's a great goal scoring touch at the moment, it must be said. Griffiths has found Bernie in a lot of space here. He's dropped between the lines, wasn't picked up by APIA. Now Sekenis showed a bit too much of it there to Sean Simmons, but he's tried to win it back. The veteran beats the youngster. Segredo is in a physical battle here with Griffiths, and Lucky Griffiths showing why he's been a massive part of this solid APIA Marconi defence, should I say. APIA's defence has been good too. Stewart had it taken off his toes, and now Dom Costanzo is racing away. A bit of confusion as to whether there was a foul, but it's still APIA's ball. Fong. And just play really breaking up at the moment. It's not been too many times that either side has had 5 passes strung together, especially in the midfield third where it's so congested right now. Both sides operating with midfield threes. Jesic playing just off Sekenis. Sekenis now has gotten the other side of Simmons, and now he can think about getting into the attacking third. A good pass forward for Jesic. Looking for the cheeky back heel, but didn't quite get enough on it. And now it's end-to-end stuff here at Lambert Park. Caspers, a good fake and an even better challenge from Griffiths. He's having himself a very tidy first period of this game. Jesic with a great pass down the line. Bernie has Sekenis in the box. That's where he's looking. But it's catching practice for Anthony Bizanis. And APIA are in a hurry. You cannot take a breath here at Lambert Park. It's very fast football. Both these sides showing no real signs of fatigue. It is a midweek game. Both coming off difficult matches. APIA with the lengthy trip down to Wollongong. The Stallions with tough task of dismantling Blacktown City away from home. Cambiashi. Bertolicio, quick check of the shoulders. He knows he has space and he's looking for that crossfield switch. A good idea, looking for Fong, but just overhit it slightly. And that's the strength that these two sides have. This is by no means their full complement of players. Both are missing key contributors. No Jake True for the Stallions tonight. He's been in and out of the starting lineup this season. Him and Damien Sakanis have shared that number 9 role. Earlier in the season, they were in the front 3 together, rotating. Of course, no Anton Milinaric, no Cam Windust. That's a big loss to their defensive stocks. Meanwhile, for APIA, no Marlo out there tonight, especially. No Presley Ortiz in the starting 11. And that's forced a bit of a reshuffle as well. It's put Jordan Segredo into the number 9 position. He's usually more of a winger. And because of that, Seiya Cambiashi, who's more of a 10, has had to go on the wing himself. Of course, his skill set makes it so that he can play basically anywhere on the park. For those of you unfamiliar with the NPL, he's played as far as right wing back this season. Meanwhile, Jesic is in the box. Griffiths. Keeper is the call from Brandon Vella. And that's exactly what the Stallions look to do. Commentators curse strikes as it's turned over to Eddie Caspers. Stewart has Fong on his right overlapping, and now APIA look to get numbers forward here. Daniel is forced into a sliding challenge, which means APIA can get forward here. I've been reliably informed that over at North Taramara Recreational Area, of course, there are a couple of games going on at the moment. Northern Tigers lead 2-0 over Hills United, so the Australia Cup could be coming to North Taramara Recreational Area. Meanwhile, Sydney United and the Granville Rage are locked at 0-0. Farinello, haven't seen too much of him in this game as of yet. Kelly didn't quite get his head onto it. That invites Damien Sakanis to go forward. Costanzo is there to help him out. Kelly thought that should have been his ball, but didn't take a touch on the way through. So an exciting prospect over there for the Northern Tigers. It's going to be great to see potentially an A-League side at North Taramara Recreational Area. That is, for those of you unfamiliar with League One of the NPL New South Wales women's competition, it's a ground that has no grandstand. It's a lovely synthetic surface with a fence around it and a hill. So, a very cold place to go and play at as well. So Stallions have a free kick in a good position, a deep cross you can think about here certainly. You see Brandon Vella and Lockie Griffiths slowly marching their way up towards the 18. Damien Sakanis also an aerial threat this season. See what Stallions can cook up here. A low-driven cross was looking for Marco Jesic, but it's well met by Fong. Costanzo will have a second go at it now. Again, it's unable to clear the first defender. Franco Meyer takes that down on his chest. Jesic into his feet. Touch was a little heavy. Bertolicio is there, and Joel Bertolicio has played a number of roles for the Stallions, for Marconi, for APIA, this season. He's played as a right back, he's played as a central defender in a back 3, playing as a midfielder tonight. He's, again, another one of these really versatile players that APIA have at their disposal. We spoke about Seiya Cambiashi just a moment ago. Bertolicio definitely fits that mould, and against Marconi, he's definitely going to be tasked with tracking back and winning a lot of the ball, and so his defensive ability can really help out in that sense. Caspers got him behind Yuli, who didn't quite know he was there. Yuli with a good sliding challenge. Segredo was up ahead. Fong. Put him down for Bertolicio. Has Franco Meyer on his back and a bit too eager there. Was the Marconi number 7. There's been another goal at North Taramara Recreational Area. It's Northern Tigers 3, Hills United 0. It's important to mention that that's Gary Van Egmont's first game in charge of Hills United, the former Newcastle Jets coach. Bounced around the back four by Marconi, which means George Daniel can come out the other side in a bit of space. Looking down the line for Sakanis, he's found a bit of space here. He's looking to get behind Drayden Kelly, who just muscles his way to the ball. Kambiashi has 2 black shirts for company and finds a bit of space inside, but this Marconi press has been really good tonight. It was a feature of their game last week against Blacktown City. The way they were able to press higher up the park, the key to Marconi is really not letting them score first against you. When they do that, they're able to dictate play defensively. They're the hardest side in the competition, arguably the hardest NPL side in the country to break down defensively. Just 10 goals conceded through their first 16 league games. Just over half a goal conceded a game. That is an outstanding rate. The next highest, for reference, is 17, which is the Northwest Sydney Spirit. So they're some 7 goals better than the second best defence in the competition through 16 games. Vela took no chances, and now Kelly has to be careful here. Sakanis is right on his back, and those two have had a great battle between them, and Sakanis goes down. Drayden Kelly able to diffuse that situation there, but that's a good battle that's brewing between those two. Michael Kuda. Well one in the air by Eddie Caspers. You would put him as a favourite to beat Lockie Griffiths, but he was able to. Vela. Into Sakanis again. There is Drayden Kelly. He seems to be going everywhere Damien Sakanis has been going at the moment. Marco Jesic adding an extra number in the final third, and this is a good ball down here for Franco Meyer. Waiting for some numbers to arrive. He goes to that left foot. Franco Meyer, great save by Bazanis. Only as far as Sakanis. Deflected away from danger. Only as far as Yuli. Crisis averted for APIA. That could have been much worse. Had it not been for some smart goalkeeping by Anthony Bazanis and a couple of last-ditch defensive blocks. Griffiths is going to ask a bit here of Brandon Vela. His touch just finds safety on the sideline. Kambiashi. You just feel the intensity of the game has slowly been rising. Sakanis, Michael Kuda and Drayden Kelly have him covered right now. He's had a couple of good opportunities. Keep the ball is the cry from Bazanis, which means Kuda is going to have to look down the line for something. He wants to foul. Yuli was looking for the foul. He got it. Segredo, a few shirt tugs in there. It's not been too heavy in terms of the nature of the challenges. Just a few shirt pulls and pushes here or there. The type of challenges that typify a derby like this one. Fong has a burst of speed through the centre of the park. Goes to ground, is tripped up by Yuli. I think APIA will just slow this down from their perspective. Try and find a bit of success with the ball. Just under 30 minutes gone. Chances have been difficult to come by, only a couple each way. Caspers on the edge of the area was looking to link up with Segredo, was inches away from doing so. Marconi throw right in front of the visitors' bench. Peter Tsakenis out there in the dugout. Both these sides have tasted Cup success in years gone by. Stallions one-time winners of the NSL Cup back in 1980. APIA two-time NSL Cup winners, 82 and 88, along with the Australia Cup, as it was then known, back in 1966. APIA have had recent success in the Waratah Cup as well. Yesic. It's going to be Marconi throw. I think Yesic was imploring the referee about a potential free kick, but again, more goals out at North Taramara, 4-1 in favour of the Northern Tigers. That is some showing. And so they'll be the League One club, it seems, that will head to the national stage. Into Lions have done it before. Northwest Sydney Spirit have done it before as they were back in League One. Just to show what cup runs can do for your side. Look at the Northwest Sydney Spirit. A couple of trips. Waratah Cup finals, a national stage berth, a couple of years as well. Faced the Melbourne Victory at Christie Park last year. And off the back of that, they've been able to build a very formidable side. Not too many would have picked them to be in the top four, but they're in the third spot right now. Tigers, another club building down in League One. Plenty of optimism around there, especially after that win. Stay with play here. Yesic. He's forced backwards. APIA have 11 behind the ball. Looking to defend in numbers against the potent Stallions attack, which they've kept at bay with some good last-ditch work. Bernie can't find a way through, so Yuli has to go back to Griffiths. Bayless. Yuli. He's found Bernie in a bit of space, but Michael Cooter is coming across the cover. He didn't quite connect with that there. Bernie gets to the byline. Yesic chipping it back post. Unselfishly looked for Tsakenis. Costanzo unable to get good contact on it. They try again, and a frustrating end to that attack there for Marconi. They were looking good. I think Marco Yesic might have been in more space than he realised. He was looking for the first time cross to the back post. Definitely had room to take a touch and shoot from that angle. Such a great leader for this team. He led them to the championship last year. Farinella rides the initial challenge. Not much is up there for him, and Jordan Segredo, who's cut an isolated figure in these last 10 minutes. Stallions have had more of the ball recently. Given away there, uncharacteristically. Stewart, great crossfield pass. Kambayashi to make it 1-0. And that is all that Saya Kambayashi needs. Just one sniff on goal. Expertly played through with an incisive pass. And APIA have soaked up pressure in these last few minutes. Only needed one opportunity forward. And it's one of their main contributors this season. Saya Kambayashi ghosting behind the defence. And was always going to be a favourite to beat James Hilton from close range. And that means that APIA Leichhardt lead 1-0. 10 minutes before the break. What a good time to score for Franco Parisi's men. Jack Stewart, the pass there was pinpoint inaccuracy. Couldn't have put it in a much better position. Was right on the run of Saya Kambayashi. Was right between the defence as well, and it was cheaply given away by Marconi. And they've ticked a big box here, APIA, which is to score first against Marconi. That's exactly what they needed to do, and they've done. Just taking a look back on the stream, the pass from Jack Stewart is really something to marvel. Tay Kambiashi adds to his tally for the season. Goal number 8 in all competitions for him this season, which is a very handy return considering he's not a striker. Sakanis, advantage played. Wide for Jesic. Marconi looking for a response. Backs himself into a corner and it's allowed to roll out of play with no further involvement from Sean Simmons. Fong. APIA really finding their groove now. Here is Stewart again, looking to cut back inside. That time he's shut down and it's hoofed away by Bayliss. Last touch coming off Stewart on the way through. So the question remains as to how Marconi will respond. They haven't been asked to come from behind too many times this season. Last time they conceded first, they lost at home to Wollongong. Previous 2 weeks have been comfortable 2-0 wins. Farinella goes in strong and last touch off Yuli. They're really flexing their muscle at the moment. That goal has buoyed them here. It's definitely shaken Marconi. But Alicio, good in the air. Now with Segredo and Kambiashi. Still with APIA and Kambiashi looking to poke it forward for Caspers. Farinella went in late there. Advantage is played. Here is Franco Meyer into the box as Sakanis and Jesic arriving. Back post. Marco Jesic was just a couple metres away from tapping it in. Now there's a bit of sorting out to do here. Franco Farinella, I think that's for the late challenge plus a couple of others. So he becomes the first man to go into the book tonight. Young attacking midfielder. To find his way through the rest of the game on a yellow. Daniel trying to find progress down the wing. It's all very congested in the corner. Vela lumps it into the box. This wide benefits Sakanis here, but up goes Anthony Bizanis before he launches it up. It's been very chirpy out there on the pitch, and that won't help from Franco Farinella, who's just been cautioned, of course, and has to be careful. It was a high foot, and I think Marco Jesic is just having a chat to the referee about that. I don't think the foul on its own necessarily warranted a yellow, but you can see from a Marconi perspective, argument was there to be made, and they're looking for a way back into this game. Jesic. Vela brought down by Meyer, and him and Bertolicio battle. Meyer has to go over to the other side to get involved, and now there's another foul coming. Just a few of these challenges starting to creep into the game. APIA wanted to go quickly, but they went a little too quickly. Ball still rolling. So they'll have to return over to the other side. Just over 5 minutes or so remaining of regulation time. Kambiashi was out of play. Sekenis smartly played into midfield, but no one was there to assist. Well played over the top of Fong, who can get behind Costanzo here. Forced the Marconi winger to defend a little bit, and now Fong has got on the other side of him, could think about crossing and does. It's low, it's driven, but it's dealt with well by Brandon Vella. Yesic. Bayless gets the call to turn and find space with Tyron Burney. Looking up, there's numbers on the left. Instead, he goes down the line. Michael Kuda to pressure Sekenis. Loose there from the Stallions, given away. Eddie Caspers and Joel Bertolicio having a very efficient game as the midfield pairing at the moment. Kuda. And Franco Maya, just too many hands there, I think, for the referee's liking, despite his protests. Kuda. Doing a bit of the hurry up by the referee. He goes long. He had half ideas of looking back to Bazanis. Caspers. So far, Segredo and Farinella have been pretty decent in the air. It's not their best attribute, but they're showing it tonight. As Segredo drifted offside, was looking to drill it into the box. Intensity steadily rising here at Lambert Park. Costanzo. Farinella. Stewart already credited with the assist. That's what he does so well, Jack Stewart. It's so difficult to tell whether he's going to go down the line or cut inside. He's versatile at doing both. He has the pace to cause problems, but he has the technical ability to create and score when he does drift inside as well. That's been way. It's been so key to APIA, as now he looks across, looking penalty spot. Segredo was the intended target. APIA can recycle possession through Eddie Caspers. It's half between Kambiashi and Simmons, so Bernie will retrieve for the throw. Bazanis telling the troops in front of him to try and box APIA in here. Sekenis, well brought down for Yesic, and that one will go over the grandstand onto the roof behind us.
Come on lads, come on up here! Again! 1 second, hey, how far? How far? Yes, Mayor! Yes! Hey, hey, hey! Come out!
Sekenis smartly played inside and inches away from chipping that over the top of Michael Kuda. You can see what the idea was from Marko Yesic there. Yuli has to go quickly, but only found the feet of Seiya Kambiashi, who is tripped up by Franco Maya. He goes quickly there, Bertolicio, and he's found Stewart inside the midfield with a bit of room as Jack Stewart charges through the defence, looking to get onto that right foot, teeing up Segredo, trying to find the shooting angle. Again, it's Jack Stewart at the centre of all things good for APIA. And Jordan Segredo caps off a wonderful move as the hosts go 2 goals to the good before half-time. It all started with the free kick taken quickly, and Jack Stewart was not picked up. Smartly found Jordan Segredo, who didn't have too much room to work with. And from there, he nestled it into the bottom corner. Great composure in the box from Jordan Segredo. And APIA I've loved how they have started this game. It couldn't have been any more perfect for them. 2 goals up at home against a watertight Marconi defence by and large this season. And Jordan Segredo finds the back of the net for APIA for the second time tonight. He's notched up his 9th goal on the campaign. It's been such a well-rounded scoring season from APIA. You look at Cambiashi, you look at Segredo, you look at Ortiz. All guys that have contributed in big numbers. Jack Stewart has been in there as well. And now the question really is how the Stallions, how the reigning champions, how the league leaders will respond to being 2-0 down away from home. They haven't lost away at all this season. They're a perfect 9 wins from 9 games away from home in the league. Every time they've dropped points, it's actually been at home. 3 draws and a loss at Marconi Stadium this season. So they've been very good on their travels. Costanzo, hopeful ball into the area for Sekenis, but it's allowed to roll away. This has been some performance from APIA, a side that has looked very good in attack for the early stages of this season. That was a story. They were scoring 4, 5, 6 goals at times throughout the early parts of 2025. It was their defence that let them down. But they've notched together 4 straight clean sheets in the league, something that will please Franco Parisi greatly. And now they're looking to make it 5 in a row against the league leaders. Another clean sheet. If you had told anyone after maybe even 10 rounds through this season that APIA would go on to keep 4 clean sheets in a row in the league, let alone 5, including the cup, a lot of people would have found that hard to believe. And Franco Parisi has done some excellent work alongside his coaching staff, David DePuzzo. Now Damien Sekenis is being pinned for the infringement here and is being told in no uncertain terms to walk away. It's still very, very chirpy out there, but for APIA Leichhardt, they're in a commanding position. 2 goals to 0. The Stallions have had a few chances, it must be said, but they've been well defended by APIA. Some good saves, some good last-ditch efforts, and Sean Simmons and Damien Sekenis, a slight coming together off the ball, and Damien Sekenis is asking the assistant referee about it. Didn't quite get a good look at it myself. Hard to tell whether it was accidental or intentional. That's the beauty of these Cup Derby games. They are played with that extra bit of intensity. And so it's half-time here at Lambert Park. 2 assists to Jack Stewart. He has been at his creative best tonight, setting up Seiya Cambiashi for the first, Jordan Segredo for the second, and it has APIA Leichhardt in a very good position. 45 minutes played on their home turf. I've been Will Constantinides. We'll see you back soon on the other side of this quick break. whenever you're ready. Welcome back to the second half of football here at Lambert Park. No changes, it looks like, from either side out of the break. Of course, a reminder that Franco Farinella in the APIA midfield is carrying a yellow card. Stallions trail 2-0. An unfamiliar position for them this season. But if there is any time to pull out a bit of magic, it is in the Australia Cup in the final preliminary round with a spot at the national stage on the line. No doubt much to talk about for Peter Tsakenis and his Chargers. They've been in this game by and large, but it's just that APIA have really taken their chances when they've come. Goals to Segredo and Cambiashi have the hosts ahead. Looking to hand Marconi just their second loss of 2025 in all competitions. They've lost once in the league to Wollongong. Haven't lost on any other occasion, and more importantly, haven't lost away from home in the Cup or the league. Stallions get us underway. No changes, it seems, as Franco Meyer looks to burst forward. The key to the Stallions is really starting fast, creating plenty of pressure. Here is Costanzo. Has Fong ahead of him. Now he takes it around his left. Costanzo deflected away. It'll be a Marconi corner. Exactly what they would have wanted. They try and kickstart some momentum here. Costanzo delivers towards the penalty spot, 6-yard area too. Falls to Franco Meyer through traffic. Exactly what Marconi were after. Franco Meyer, it fell to him at the top of the box and he put that sweet left foot right through it. Goals in back-to-back games for the Marconi number 7. He's really starting to find his form now. Scored a belter last week against Blacktown City. And that time, he found the tightest of avenues to sneak the ball through this APIA defence. It was always going to be seen late by Bazanis and was put into a good corner by Meyer. And now the game has really opened up. That couldn't have been better for Marconi. And just when there was any suggestion that APIA might have been comfortably looking at another round of 32 berth, there is Franco Meyer with a bit of individual magic. Now Yuli sends it forward. Tsakenis will try and chase, but it's far too close to the sideline. It's an 86-minute goal that sealed 3 points for Marconi last week from Franco Meyer. This time he's kick-started a comeback. The difficulties playing from behind at times, Marconi. This second half is plenty to try and complete this comeback. It'll be difficult, though, against APIA, who've been good as they're on the attack now. Broken up by Griffiths. And Bertolicio there went in strong and late on Griffiths, and now there's more discussions about a further caution. 5th goal of 2025 for Franco Meyer. Last since last week, back-to-back games. First in the Cup. Scored some big goals this season. Of course, he made his way back into the side, to the Marconi first grade side, that is through the 20s. Even players as good as Franco Meyer have to get a bit of fitness in the 20s comp. And now there's some extended discussions here with Marco Jesic, our referee. I'm not sure if our sound is quite picking that up, but it's very animated, to say the least. Griffiths is down the deck here. He's not someone that goes down lightly, the overpowering centre-back. Does look like he'll be all right to continue. He's back on his feet. Doesn't look like a sub is being prepared by Peter Sakenis. So he'll have to slowly hobble off. He did receive treatment, but it does look like he'll be all right to continue. The referee's just telling him there he has to quickly jump on and off. Quick little chat to Franco Parisi, no doubt. Hilton will get us back underway. Sent up into the attacking half. Kuda. Ball was flicked backwards. Still in play. Now it's allowed to roll out. It'll be an APIA goal kick. Yuli was looking for one of Yesic or Costanzo. Wasn't far away from finding either. And now Farinella can turn. There are numbers getting forward here for APIA. Eddie Kaspers is one of them. Segredo has to stay on side. And he made his run inside. A rare occasion you'll see Segredo and Kaspers not on the same wavelength. Fong. Stewart. Good football in midfield by APIA. Farinella has gotten inside Griffiths here, looking to extend the lead. Still with Franco Farinella. Now he shoots. But the angle had been shut down by the time he was able to wrap his foot around the ball. Griffiths just doing well to stay on his feet, keep himself out of any suggestion of a foul, and created enough pressure to force Farinella into a wayward shot. Yesic has spotted Griffiths in a bit of space. Progress forward was shut down by Segredo, and he's won it back in a good position here. Segredo unable to take full advantage of it. APIA will have to track back quickly with Marconi bursting forward. Franco Meyer, his turn to switch the play. This time it's George Daniel, the recipient. Costanzo looking ahead. Pass will only find Sean Simmons. Cambiashi. Marconi have really started brightly. Not just their goal, but they've used that to keep putting more pressure on this APIA defence. It was a feature of their game in the first half, particularly towards the latter stages, basically up until when they conceded the first goal. For a good 10-15 minute period, they were really solid in attack. Yesic has won it off Drayden Kelly. Plays Costanzo on the left side. Something brewing here for Marconi. Into the box it goes. And away from danger, courtesy of Michael Kuda. Kaspers able to retrieve the second ball, and he looks down the line himself, but it's a hopeful pass that'll only find a bright pink strip of James Hilton. Costanzo. Left it behind. Bertolicio could burst forward. Segredo has looked to spring the offside trap, but he has. Looking to extend APIA's lead. Jordan Segredo. Flashed wide of the goal. There was a golden opportunity there. Again, it's a cheap giveaway by Marconi. Caught out at the back. And from there, Jordan Segredo. A one-on-one opportunity with Hilton. Unable to hit the target. And with this game standing at 2-1, just a 1-goal lead, those opportunities are the types that APIA might look back on later in the game. It was not too dissimilar to when they met earlier this season, that when Marconi won 2-0 here at Lambert Park, there was a big chance earlier in the game for Caspers where he struck the post before APIA would go down 2-0. Here is Caspers looking to find his way through. And Hilton innocently caught Caspers. There was definitely a collision between the two, but Hilton was well within his rights to go up for the ball. I think Caspers was trying desperately to get something on it, and was never going to be first to that one, but no ill intent either way. Route one pass by Bayless. Fong coolly nods that back to his keeper, Bazanis. It's been interesting in recent weeks, the goalkeeper rotation between Bazanis and Kalatz. Bazanis had a couple of weeks where he was number one, then Kalatz came back into the squad against the Wollongong Wolves. Both have kept clean sheets in recent weeks, so it's a good problem to have for Franco Parisi. Stewart, that is lovely feat, just perhaps giving himself a bit too much to do, beating three defenders, was able to beat two. Simmons lobs that out to Stewart. He's probably been the player of the game so far, definitely for APIA. His 2 assists and his constant presence make him a very worthy threat. Kelly will try something himself, and he's only found the bonnet of someone's car. It's the beauty of these MPL grounds. There's a nice high net there, and without giving too much away about the shot, cleared the net and onto the bonnet of someone's car. If my knowledge serves me correct, only certain people have access to that particular car park. So hopefully he didn't hit the car of one of his coaches there, or a fellow player, or a member of club staff. Kuda. Bernie looking for options ahead of him. Game has lulled a little bit in intensity since the last few minutes. It was really all Marconi racing out of the blocks. APIA have temporarily stemmed the tide. A couple chances of their own that they might look back on later. Meanwhile, Jesic has tried to get in behind as it skips away from him. Costanzo. Marconi tried their way out through this corner. It's with Bayless and Griffiths. Jesic into the feet of Bernie. Ball just holding up. And Sao Cambiashi can think about breaking forward. Has Yuli and Bayless with him, and they win the ball. The combination of the two of them. And Sirkenis has gotten the other side of Kelly. Damien Sirkenis looking centrally. And Jesic still alive here for Marconi before it's poked clear of goal by Franco Farinella. Still on that yellow card, of course. Another Marconi throw, this time a little deeper. Yuli Lofted ball into the box, and it's overall. And that'll be an APIA goal kick. Marconi are just feeling that APIA are taking a little too long as dark arts might begin to start as Meyer launches it forward, looking for Jesic, who is in this here. Bizarreness has to use his head. Yuli bringing it down, thought about the shot himself here with Jesic, and the door was quickly slammed shut on that Marconi attack. Had a brief moment where Bizarreness was scrambling, and now they have to worry about getting back and defending a potential counter. Stewart sprays his pass wide, but Franco Parisi with an expert touch to keep it back and stop it from going wide. Not quite Route 1 time here for Marconi. Still plenty of time, but you just get the sense that they're maybe starting to rush a little in attack. Still the best part of the second half to go, of course. Bit of confusion about the throw. It'll be APIA. Back and forth. It's starting to resemble the early stages of the first half at the moment with how tight it is in midfield as Yuli trips up Caspers right in front of the APIA bench, who took an exception to that challenge. As mentioned, it's really starting to come into its own, the Derby d'Italia. Kuda. Stand over this one, of course. He was the man that was sent off against Marconi last time they met in the cup. That was in second half. Stewart, great pass again to Segredo. Kambayashi is back post, deflected away from him with Caspers. Stewart lines up himself. Jesic came sliding in, got plenty of the ball. Still not away. Now it's with Farinella. Caspers can't find a way through before Marconi clear their lines, but it's Jack Stewart again at the centre of things for APIA Leichhardt. And Caspers is tripped up late, and the subs and the coaching staff are all up and about. And now there's a bit of extracurriculars here between Franco Meyer and Eddie Caspers, and it's boiled over here at Lambert Park. It's been threatening to do this all night. And there's just all players except for Anthony Bizarreness that are involved in this massive huddle. With State of Origin going up north, there's no doubt a bit of extra tension in the air around the country tonight, but it's been a game that's been played in good spirits, in good competitive spirits, and things have just turned off the back of that little incident between Caspers and Franco Meyer, and now the referee has some affairs to attend to. So Franco Meyer has been told to stay away, and now Jordan Segredo has been called over here, as has Marco Jesic. And so before we have the final outcome, there's still a bit going on here between Damien Sakanis and Jack Stewart. And now all the players have spread out from each other. It was actually Jordan Segredo that was involved in the midst of it there, not Eddie Caspers, my mistake. So Segredo has been cautioned. And I think Franco Meyer is going to be booked here as well. And he is, so a double booking each way. So Meyer and Segredo joined Farinella as players that have been carded. Of course, now that might prompt a bit of movement from the bench. So Matej Busek is completing the final stages of his warm-up. I wonder if that's for Franco Meyer. That's who Meyer has replaced in the starting lineup from the weekend. Busek has an eye for goal himself, so a like-for-like swap potentially coming there. Sean Simmons standing over it. There's just the one in the wall here for James Hilton. It's Franco Meyer, about 35 yards from goal here. Sean Simmons looking for that in-swinging left-footed delivery. Drayden Kelly has made his way forward as well, as has Michael Kuda. In comes the delivery. It's good, but it's cleared by Lockie Griffiths. Comes back out to Segredo as Meyer gets the faintest of touches, but not enough that he could keep the ball. Segredo again. Tries from range. Oh, and it slipped right through the hands of Hilton. And Jordan Segredo has a brace to extend APIA's lead. And don't they love that, APIA Leichhardt? Exactly what they were looking for, to swing momentum back in their favour. And Segredo just backed himself from range. And if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery. And that means that APIA Leichhardt have restored their 2-goal buffer over their rivals. And you might have noticed there on the celebration, just after they had been involved in that little collision, Jordan Segredo and Franco Meyer. Segredo had plenty to say to Franco Meyer after that. More importantly, above all that, it was the celebrations from the bench for APIA. They know that they're one step closer now to going back to the round of 32 for their third straight time. And Segredo has had to play this makeshift number 9 role. It's a role that he can play, but definitely more known as occupying a wider position. There's Griffiths. Gets the ball on Farinella. It's going to be an APIA corner, though. And it just goes to show that APIA really do have something good in this attack. So much depth, so much quality, so much versatility as well. And it looks like Peter Sakanis will be going to the bench soon. That change that I spoke about earlier might be forthcoming. Matej Busek is being prepared. Meanwhile, Franco Farinella is going to receive a bit of treatment. Just under 70 minutes gone here. Still no changes from either side, but it looks like that might be about to change after this corner that APIA are set to attack. Cambiashi standing over it. Swings it in towards Hilton. This time he punches clear as Cambiashi scrambles across to get it. Taken away by Meyer. Cries of handball from Marconi, but play continues. It's out of play. Last touch off Franco Meyer. Looks like more subs could be coming as well for APIA. They've really looking to make it another trip to the national stage here, APIA. They got the better of Marconi last year at this point, of course, and no dispute that Marconi have been the better side over the course of the league season, as evidenced by their last matchup, but there is something different about APIA Leichhardt when it comes to cup matches. They just know how to turn it on at the right time and for the right occasion. And so here comes that change now. Matej Busek will replace the man that replaced him in the starting lineup, Franco Meyer. He kick-started the comeback, Meyer, with his goal just out of the halftime break to make it 2-1, but the 2-goal buffer has since been restored. And I think the fact that he's on a yellow has played into that decision from Peter Sakanis. Simmons goes the distance on the clearance. Segredo had been positioned offside before. So how will Marconi respond? Time is running out here. Of course, we will have extra time and penalties if needed, but it has to start soon for Marconi. Since their goal, they had a brief flurry of chances, but the last 10-15 minutes, it's been APIA Leichhardt that have restored their ascendancy in this Derby d'Italia. Busek with the fresh legs. Sandwiched between some APIA defenders. Couldn't find a passage through, but it's fallen out wide to Tyron Burney. James Bayliss. And George Daniel. APIA are well set defensively now. Griffiths. Busek and Burney. Broken up by Fong and Farinella. They have to go all the way back to James Hilton. Vela. Costanzo. Floated ball intended for Damien Sakanis. Flicked on by Busek towards Sakanis, and Sean Simmons has to quickly get across his line and has prevented the corner and cleared it away from danger as well. Ball still remains in play though. Shouts of offside. Flag has stayed down here for Marko Jesic, recycling possession. And APIA have dug their heels in defensively. They have to be careful they don't concede too much pressure. If they do that for long enough, Marconi might find a way through. George Daniel looks to do it himself. Was looking for a foul that wasn't coming as Fong comes off our referee, and that'll be an APIA drop ball.
Hey, APIA, come this way.
Now that substitution, the first of the game for APIA, comes through. So Franco Farinella off. And it looks like Presley Ortiz is coming on. Which means Jordan Segredo has left his post as the team's number 9. And he's left that post with a brace. And now the frightening proposition of a fresh-legged Presley Ortiz to try and run rampant at this Marconi defense. Will now have to open up as they try and chase this game. Bertolicio. Jack Stewart. Drifting inwards, linking up with Caspers. Jack Stewart looking for a goal potentially himself. Fong. Deft pass for Presley Ortiz. Deflected out of danger by Lockie Griffiths, and that'll be an APIA corner again. And they will be in no hurry to take this, Sean Simmons. And there's 2 ball kids that are being asked for the ball there, and they've not quite given it to Sean Simmons. They were too busy disputing over which one of them was going to do it. In the end, Simmons just took the ball for himself, so he will whip this one in. A goal here for APIA would surely seal their fate. In it goes towards Hilton, cleared away by Griffiths. Got up highest with Drayden Kelly lurking. Caspers turns the corner. Be another corner. The count continues to rise here for APIA. Looks like there might be a bit more movement coming on the bench here for Marconi. A double substitution could be imminent. Kambiashi near post, cleared at the second attempt by Costanzo. It does the job up towards Busek. Doesn't really have too many other players with him. He's got to do it himself here. Judged to have dragged back Eddie Caspers there. Won't be one, it won't be two. It looks like it'll be a triple change for Peter Sekenis. We'll get confirmation of that in just a moment. Looks like it might be Jawad Razai, Monge and Kyle Cementi. Kelly sends that up into the night sky. That'll only benefit Marconi though. There's a couple of wayward clearances here from APIA. They eventually find their way through, and Fong has gone down here with a potential knock. APIA will have to play on. They know that if they intentionally play out of play, that Marconi won't give them the ball back, as Ortiz has gotten behind. Big save by Hilton, but it's only Caspers. Has an empty goal waiting for him. Cleared and dealt with by Brandon Vella. And that could have been it for APIA Leichhardt. A chance to go 4-1 up. Had it not been for some last-ditch defending by Vella. And now APIA have the other end to worry about. Don't they love that defensive effort there, APIA. Really digging in as mentioned, and now here comes that triple substitution. Looks like Cameron Fong has taken to the pitch now with that knock. And so Yuli, as well as James Bayliss, those two men are off, as is Marko Jesic. Replaced by Jawad Razai, Monge and Bayliss has stayed on. This is the magic of the cup. No fourth official board on the far side to help us out here. It does look like Marko Jesic is the man that came off. He's given the captain's armband to Matej Busek. Meanwhile, APIA could be preparing a substitution of their own here. Cole Cementi is over on that far side. Looks like he has come on in place of Marko Jesic. Jawad Razai has replaced Dom Costanzo, and Julian Monge has replaced Liam Yuli. Meanwhile, it looks like Sparacino has entered in place of Fong. So a like-for-like swap there at the back, defender for defender. 4 changes in that break of play for us to try and work with. APIA know the job won't be done just yet. They are in a favourable position, of course, 2 goals up with time ticking away. They know that Marconi, as much as any team, can find a way through, as Monge sprays it out wide for Razai. Looking for that right foot inside, Jawad Razai. Rory Jordan also out there now for APIA. A double sub at the break for them. APIA have to be careful here. They don't fall apart defensively with these substitutions and alter their structure, as Michael Kuda will clean that up eventually. Looks like Franco Farinella was the man that made way for Rory Jordan. So 5 sets of fresh legs out there now after that most recent window, to go with the couple that have joined already. Just over 10 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. You'd think we'd have a decent amount of stoppage time too. A lot of injuries, a lot of substitutions. Plus we had that little coming together off the ball between Segredo and Franco Maya. It's been a great game of cup action here. A true cup tie in every sense of the word as Michael Kuda sprays it towards Jack Stewart's wing. Segredo, I think he'll be flagged here, and he went a bit too early. Jack Stewart was waiting for the angle to open up, and by the time it presented itself, Segredo had already made his run. Oh, given away again by Marconi. It's been a couple of those errors have creeped into their game tonight. Here is Sean Simmons. His turn to join the attack, leaving it behind for Stewart. Has found Caspers. He was asking a lot of him on the touches. Jawad Razai can be the beneficiary of that. Held onto it too long. Caspers was able to win his own ball back. Now Jordan. Cries of handball. It was on the arm of Jawad Razai. You have to be careful that complacency doesn't slip into their performance. It's still 10 minutes to go plus stoppage time, which is more than enough for the league leaders and reigning champions. APIA are only 10 minutes plus stoppages away from going back to the national stage for the 6th time in 8 years, including 3 in a row. It's really been some effort for them, as if Marconi don't find a way back, their drought to the round of 32 will extend to 6 years. Conversely, it's a very contrasting outlook for two sides that are successful in their own right at the state level in the Cup, Waratah Cup or the league, but it's just been APIA that have been able to get to the Cup national stages with more regularity, as Drayden Kelly is in hot pursuit of Damien Sekenis. And didn't get the ball there, Drayden Kelly. He might have overshot his run a little bit there and collected Damien Sekenis on the way through. And so now Marconi have been given a good opportunity here from the set piece. It's going to be James Bayliss, who has expertly delivered in a couple in recent weeks. He set up Dom Costanzo from a corner against Sutherland Sharks. It seems like the game might turn potentially on the outcome of the next couple minutes here, which will include what happens with this set piece. Bazanas barking out orders to his chargers. He knows they need to get this right here, APIA. Bayliss. Driven low, driven hard, up towards Griffiths. Couldn't quite connect with the ball towards goal. And now Caspers is thinking of racing down the other end. Numbers are streaming forward here for APIA, as the ball just bounces behind Presley Ortiz. And that was a great opportunity to build a strong counter-attack. And they're not done just yet, APIA. Ortiz has gotten in the area. Touch was a little heavy though, and that made it easy sweeper keeper work for Hilton, who was in a hurry. No one is challenging Drayden Kelly, who calmly nods that down for Sparacino. Rory Jordan really shows the depth that APIA have. They can bring on a Presley Ortiz. They can bring on a Rory Jordan in the dying stages of a do-or-die cup clash. While they're 3-1 up, no less, against the league leaders. Sekenis. Michael Kuda went in strongly. He's had a very efficient game himself at centre back. Usually more of a fullback, Michael Kuda, but he's filled his role well, as now there's more cuttings together between Brandon Vella and Presley Ortiz, and it's the APIA number 9 that is one inside a foul. And this will chew up some clock for the hosts. As we wait for this free kick to be taken, we might just update you on what's happening over at Adensa Park. That one is finished full time. Sydney United 1, defeating the Granville Rage 0. Meanwhile, a substitution has happened in the background. Jake True returns from his injury. He replaces Damien Sakena. So a like-for-like swap up top with Jake True given 5 minutes plus stoppages here to make an impact. He has scored against APIA before. Does have a bit of goal-scoring touch himself. Jordan. You can see APIA are in no hurry to turn over the ball. They know that keeping it is the key. They won't just blindly lump it into the area. Just a few minutes now for APIA Leichhardt. Jordan bringing it down in the box with a good deft first touch, but unable to connect with it. Hooked away from danger by Bayless. Kuda brings it down well and gets a big round of applause from David DePuzzo and the APIA bench as Sean Simmons looking for Presley Ortiz, but it was a hopeful ball in. No one was at the back post as George Daniel can easily take that out of his own end, but has invited a bit of pressure from Jack Stewart. Now with Segredo and Joel Bertolicio. It's been a complete performance. It's hard to really pick out which APIA player has had the best game. If you had to pick one, it's probably either a Jack Stewart or a Jordan Segredo, but there's been good performances up and down the pitch, including from Anthony Bazanis, who's made some good saves himself. The job isn't finished yet for APIA. They've already knocked off 2 A-League sides in the Australia Cup. Melbourne victory in 2018, the Western Sydney Wanderers in 2021. Such a rare feat to beat an A-League side. They've done it not once but twice. Jawad Razai has gotten in the box here, goes to ground. Referee waves it away. Drayden Kelly was alongside him. And for a brief moment there, it looked like Razai had gotten the other side of Drayden Kelly. He was adjudged to have gotten enough of the ball to avoid suggestion of a foul. All hands to the pump now for APIA. Sparacino won the second header. Here is Ortiz. Flicks it around the corner well, but only onto the chest of Bayless. Sparacino. He's thinking about playing his keeper, but saw that Kyle Chimenti was lurking, as was Jake True. Great feat by George Daniel. Now Jake True. Taken off his toes by Drayden Kelly as Stewart looks over the top, intended for Presley Ortiz. Michael Kuda is barking out to his defensive back four, telling them to march off. They can't sit back here, APIA. Not far away at all. It's allowed to bounce and it stayed in before it eventually rolls its way out. 11 behind the ball for APIA. Mere minutes away now. 2 minutes, plus you'd think a fair chunk of added time to come. It's approaching now or never territory for the Marconi Stallions. Lockie Griffiths. How can Marconi get this all-important second goal? And they still have a little bit of time remaining to get the third as well, but it needs to happen soon. And Jawad Razai and George Daniel just colliding with each other there, and means it bounces out of play for an APIA throw. Bertolicio says enough of that, let's get it away from goal, but they know the challenge is still ahead. Hilton. Vela. Is shown away from the sideline, which means he has to go centrally out to the right end. Now Griffiths. Up goes Jake True, sorry. Sparacino just gave him a bit of an arm there. I think the outstretched left arm of Sparacino gave him away. And This will mean another set-piece opportunity for James Bayliss and the Marconi Stallions. Looking to throw themselves a lifeline here. Regulation time is ticking away. All forward basically here except for Tyron Burney and James Hilton. Two in the wall for Bazanis. Bayliss to whip it in. It's good. It's towards the back post. And it's gone all the way in from James Bayliss. Marconi aren't done yet. Stoppage time remains. And they've set themselves up with a chance. And we spoke about how alert APIA have been. And that time, they were unable to deal with the cross at the first attempt, and it was allowed to sneak its way in from James Bayliss. Bazanis wouldn't have known much about it, seeing it through the traffic. And that goal was right on 90 minutes. And we don't know how much stoppage time remains. We are truly in the hands of our referees. No fourth official for us to confirm the additional time that is left, but you'd think with that goal plus the extras, we're looking at around 4 minutes, potentially 5. Now Marconi sensing that they have something here. They go quickly on the throw. Drake True. Drayden Kelly bustles his way through the Marconi attack. Sparacino, the press from Marconi is coming up. You have to be careful that they don't turn it away. And that's what Jordan Segredo unfortunately does from their perspective. Marconi can try and use this to their advantage. Razai. Michael Kuda. Anywhere will do. Great first touch by Lockie Griffiths. It means that they can keep this attack flowing. Keeping the ball in play is imperative for Marconi. Not allowing APIA a dead ball opportunity to chew down the clock. Jawad Razai can get forward with numbers joining him. The substitute to the byline, drops it back. The ball has stayed in play. Prevented a goal kick there. George Daniel looks to fashion across himself. There's not much for him to work with here. Waiting for numbers to arrive in support. He finds James Bayliss. APIA holding strong defensively. Marconi poking and prodding, looking for any holes that exist in this defence late in the game. National Australia Cup glory potentially on the line. A spot at the national stage. Kyle Chimenzi nods it back. It's fallen here. Shot from Monge was tame. Seen all the way. From the moment it left his boot, it looked only destined for Anthony Bazanis. Segredo looking for the dagger here. Offside by Presley Ortiz. Slowly approaching last chance saloon. Again, we're not sure how much added time is left. Daniel looking ahead of him, goes down the line for Julian Monge. Has Chimenzi ahead of him, a quick check of the shoulder. He has stayed onside. Cries of a foul. Drayden Kelly won the ball clearly and has to be careful, but he's had to concede a throw. It's better than a corner, but it means that they can launch numbers forward here, Marconi, and it means they have the ball in the attacking third, which is where they want it. True tries to win it, pokes it back inside, but he prevented the goal kick. But any ball in the arms of Anthony Bazanis right now is as good as that result. It's gone right down to the wire here at Lambert Park. Marconi have refused to go away. Sparacino nods it clear. Now it's on the back of Jack Stewart. Down the line for Segredo. Has Presley Ortiz in the box. No foul doing here for APIA. Jack Stewart will try and get to this ahead of James Hilton. And Hilton has to be careful. He's been caught out by Stewart. Almost committed a foul. Stewart looking for goal. And James Hilton treaded a very fine line there. And Tyron Burney is being asked to try and keep that in, and it's just overcooked on the path. It's the last thing Marconi want. It's exactly what APIA are looking for, a throw deep in opposition territory. And Sean Simmons will be in no hurry. Again, still at the discretion of our referees. It's been an end-to-end game of football as Simmons, very cheeky, faking it. They won't be in a hurry to retrieve the ball. They know that that's going to be the job of James Bayliss and Marconi. Simmons down the line, just anywhere will do, anywhere that's up the pitch. Last touch off APIA. It'll be a Marconi throw. Never know which chance may be there last here. The Marconi Stallions. Nodded forward, up towards Chimenti. He wins the flick on. Jawad Razai is in play, and that forces Faracino to loft it up towards the Joe Marston Pavilion. Jordan went to ground. APIA thought about a foul potentially. Now Jawad Razai couldn't beat two APIA defenders. Back it goes. Griffiths and APIA Leichhardt have done it against their Derby d'Italia rivals for the second year in a row. Were pushed all the way, and after 90, they'll be heading back to the Australia Cup round of 32 for the third straight year, for the sixth time in 8 years. They just know how to get to the big stage, Franco Parisi's men, and they've done it again, dismantling their Derby d'Italia opponents at home. Jordan Segreto with a brace, that third goal, putting a bit of breathing room, which they desperately needed after Franco Meyer kick-started the comeback in the first half, before James Bayliss would find his goal through a deep set piece in the 90th minute, which made the stoppage time interesting. But APIA had done enough throughout the game and did enough in stoppage time to hold on to their lead. Fantastic performance by Franco Parisi's men. What a game of cup action it was. They'll join Sydney United 58 and the Northern Tigers as the New South Wales representatives of the NPL in the Australia Cup. Another game to come next week as well. Keep your eyes on that one. An absolute pleasure to bring you this one in the Australia Cup preliminary rounds. I've been Will Constantinides. Until next time, it's goodbye for now.